Hi everybody, how's everybody doing? As always, back again. More reviews, guys. Like I said, catching up with my reviews. Uh, the books I'm going to review, guys, are the books that came out for I would say, I believe this is the ninth. Yeah, for the ninth, guys. So this will be for the books that came out. Yeah, like I said. Yeah, uh, basically the ninth of December. Once again, like I said, everybody, I hope everybody enjoyed their holiday, had a good time, spent time with their families, enjoyed themselves. Whatever holiday you celebrate does not matter. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Uh, I got a good stack here. You probably saw me talk about it, but yeah, I got indies, tons of indies. I got one DC or crossover and a lot of Marvel. So we're gonna get started quick. Um, we're gonna kick this off with all new Hawkeye. This is number 2. Lemire Perez. Um, they still continue to do a pretty good job. Still continue the story that's going on. Flash forward and back and forth to you know present and in a possible future. And yeah, on the cover you can see it's the Mandarin. If you get a good look at that, it's the Mandarin on the cover. And yeah, he does look a little bit like Arcade. I'm not gonna lie, but the storytelling is really good. It's it goes on the way I surmise of what Lemire is trying to write is like how vulnerable and how destructured um, Clint really is. It's like it's almost as if Clint needs Kate in his life almost. It's like, well, he'll go on a destructive path, and I'm just like, wow, okay, that's kind of interesting. You got to see Kate talking with America, Perez basically Miss America, the, um, and she even kind of breaks it down too. Is like, Clay's a grown man. Like you don't always have to be with him and things like that. And sometimes I think he needs me. And then we go fast, and then we go into the possible future, and we see that Kate and older Hawkeye are with the Mandarin, and they came for one reason. However, they start to realize that maybe the organization that Kate works for, Shield, is not as set them up. And then at that part, I was really like, you know, I'm getting real tired of seeing that. Like, they're starting to do that way too much now. It's like Shield is bad or something like that. It's just like, really, But other than that, this was still good. I can't wait to the next issue because it's gonna be brothers. The brothers come back. We're gonna see Barney and Hank and Clint together. Trick Shot, aka Trick Shot, uh, with his brother. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Let's move on to the Amazing Spider-Man number 700. What is this? 26. I'm losing the count. Once again, uh, these the these Alex Ross covers are beautiful. Basically, even though this book has been out for like a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, like I said, guys, I'm still gonna review them as if nobody's never read them. Not spoil too much, but we're still in the story with the the Zodiac, and more on. We get to see where Aunt May is in this. I think this is the first issue we actually get to see where Aunt May is. She's in Madagascar, Africa, um, helping out there thanks to the Uncle Ben Foundation. And all of a sudden, while she's out there, We get individuals who look like a certain someone from Peter's past, and Peter puts everything on hold to go help Aunt May. Of course, she's gonna come first. And Mockingbird is really like, we're not supposed to do that. We gotta follow orders. And Peter's like, almost like, screw that. Aunt May comes first, and so badly, like he jettisons Mockingbird out of the jet, out of the spider jet, the web jet. I think that's what it's called. And we get to see something new for Mockingbird. Not only does she have a cool new costume, there's something new to it. And I'm not gonna spoil what it is, even though it's been out for a while. Check it out for yourself. Um, but it gets really intense, especially when we find out that there was a little bit of a dissension in the ranks in terms of who kind of orchestrated this attack on these war goblins, as they call themselves. But other than that, this was good. Black Knight number 2. Uh, Tara Pizzari. I hope I'm saying the name out. The Black Knight versus the Uncanny Avengers. So basically, in this issue, we're getting kind of a sense of why Dane is in Weird World. It would assume that the 8 years prior to this, in the Secret Wars, that uh, Cap Steve Rogers actually invited Dane to rejoin the Avengers again. You gotta remember, Black Knight was an Avenger, and something went down between on a mission with Dane. So the team now comes to Weird World to get some answers, and almost in a sense bring him in because of what he did. What he did, I will not spoil. But it just shows that since Dane leads this huge cavalry of people now in Weird World, it's almost like he almost outmasters one of the great strategists, Steve Rogers, and it was just like, whoa, okay. Um, but I did enjoy this, and it makes me wonder, like, who's telling the real truth? Like, has the sword really, the ebony blade that the Black Knight carries, is he really being controlled by the sword, or is this a ruse? You know what I'm saying? This was good. I've been enjoying this. All right, Guardians of the Galaxy number 3, or I should call it 20, whatever. Bendis. So the the Krieg accuser, the female Krieg accuser, is just laying waste to Spartax and literally belittling the Guardians, while Peter just has to watch it. He's just watching his planet just get killed, just get destroyed, his men getting destroyed. He's up in like a space pod, just he can't do anything about it. And like she said, after she's done with Spartax, she's going to Earth. And the Guardians know that they have to do something, or she's gonna destroy everything. She's mad with vengeance, and it's hard to see sometimes the Guardians as the underdog, including Gamora. It's like she's already battled and bruised from meeting this person before. Now this nonsense right here in the cover, I don't know what this cover is, but this none of this shit never happens. Um, but yeah, without spoiling any more yet, the ending. Ooh, okay. Please don't tell me you did. Tell me she's not dead, but this was good. And you talk about good. Um, Hercules number 2, Abnett Ross, who does the artwork. First of all, that cover is badass. Look at that cover. So Herc is still on the road to kind of redeeming himself in the eyes of the people. You know, he's, as they once again, Mr. Abner keeps going on, is that yes, Hercules is the first hero. So, and it's kind of even played up in this by Herc's landlord that he should be on a high pedestal. This is where all the other heroes that came after him should really be inspired to be like. When she's talking to Gilgamesh, the Sumerian hero, who's kind of like freeloading off of Herc and stuff. But Herc deals with giants. He's dealing with giants, and then he sees his sister once again, Athena, and she's not talking. And Kirk's kind of getting a little pissed off about it. People are seeing him talking to nobody, and like kids like, "Daddy, who's he talking about?" I don't know, son. He's kind of strange, you know. But we start to see that something is bringing out all these old creatures of the ancient times, you know, giants, centaurs, everything like that. Even Hercules goes to see a friend of his who happens to be a an oracle, and she doesn't even know what's going on. But something is going on. Something is rising that is scaring and bringing these ancient creatures into the modern age, and it's getting very intense. I love when Herc is talking with a lot like these old foes. You know, he speaks in the old tongue like thoueth, and thou come and thou cometh, and I will smite thee, and it's cool. I like how he switches tongue from modern times to ancient tongues. Really cool. As always. Um, the one boy, I like the scene. I'll spoil this, guys. The scene after he deals with the giant, the boy says, "Are you a hero?" He's like, "Yes." And he's like, "What's with the stupid helmet?" And he's like, "You should get rid of the helmet. You're not like Spider-Man." And it's so funny, and but people are comparing him to Spider-Man, which is funny. I love when he was walking through Central Park, a jogger runs up and she says, "Who are you supposed to be?" "Hercules." And she's just like, "Oh wow, that's a cool cosplay though." And he's just like, it's the way Abaddon is writing it is as if people don't believe he's the real myth. He's just some crazy nut who likes to get drunk and things like that. But this was good. The next issue, I can't wait. So far, I'm been loving this series. Hercules #2. We move on to Scarlet Witch #1. James Robinson does the artwork, and Vanessa Del Rey, I believe, does the does the artwork, and James Robinson does the writing. I like this. This was good. This was really good. Magic is flipping out. And basically, Wanda, she lives now in the house of her old mentor, Agatha Harkness. And what is even cooler is the fact that she can see Agatha's ghost. Like her ghost is, and she can talk to it and everything like that. She starts to investigate a murder, and she gets a little help from a detective. The detective's kind of like really ransacking her, like getting on her case about magic and everything like that. And Wanda does something that she knew she had to do, an exorcism on this detective, and she realizes that the demon is more very ancient and very comes from more of an Irish, I believe, Irish magic. So once again, giving more hints that the character that was in the uh, Uncanny Avengers annual, the Emerald Warlock, is coming. But Wanda is now on a quest, like she's really to fix magic, and it doesn't matter where it takes her, she's gonna try to be able to help. And she plays up a lot of her personal demons, and things like that. But I did enjoy this. The artwork from Miss Del Rey was not that bad. I know there were some people I've seen that said it. They were kind of a little thrown off about it. You know, they didn't really like it, but I enjoyed it. It wasn't the best artwork, but I did enjoy it. Scarlet Witch, number one. We move on to Spider Gwen number three. Latour and Rodriguez still do a good job with this. Basically, in this guy's Gwen travels to the 616 universe. Basically, remember she's part of the Web Wars, so she has like that device that allows her to go back and forth if she needs to, and she's talking to Jessica Drew. She's talking to Spider Woman and trying to get some words of wisdom. And as we all know, as most women know, when you're pregnant, you have some strange cravings. And Jessica is having some strange cravings. She's eating sticks of butter, like just chomping down on it, just sitting there watching Thor fight I believe it was Griffin she was fighting. And you know, Jessica's kind of giving Gwen here some advice about the life of a hero, things like that. And back in this Earth 665, Gwen's world, things is not looking so good for her father in terms of now they're starting to maybe some of the people of the police force maybe starting to put that she knows Spider Woman. Uh, but the best thing I would say, we also get a little glimpse of more of the dick, the dick Matt Murdock from Gwen's world, and but more the biggest thing I think was finding we get to see uh, Gwen's version of Harry Osborn, and we find out that Harry Osborn has been trained by Shield, and he feels that we get a little bit more of a segue into the past, more um, good storytelling of what he felt, what happened to Peter, and that was good. The one thing I think that was really cool about this issue was Gwen talking to Jessica about what was the 616 Gwen like, because they're right at the bridge where she died, and Jessica's like, I don't want to talk about it. Peter doesn't bring her up a lot. I only know bits and pieces. If you want to know, ask Peter. Things like that. But this was good. This was still good. I enjoyed it a lot. And just seeing what Harry said at the end of the book was just like, all right, I want to see where this goes. Spider-Man 2099, number 4. Peter David. Man, it's good writing. Basically, without spoiling too much, we get the debut, well, in the 616 universe of the 2099 version of Captain America on the cover. So yeah, it's kind of cool. We have on Gwen's world, there's a Captain America female. 2099 version of Captain America is female too. What makes it even cooler for me personally is that both characters who are carrying the legacy are women of color. On Gwen's Earth, she's an African American. On this one, right here, her name is Mendez. She's Latino, and she is jacked. I'm talking jacked. Like when Miguel sees her um, fighting this guy right here who came through the portal, he looks at her. She dwarfs Miguel, and it's so funny. Mel's like, wait, what happened to you? Why do you look like a bodybuilder and things like that? She's jacked. And she tells him, the super soldier serum, everything from, the contrary of what makes Captain America. And this was fun. But the team, both of the individuals know they have to team up because the guy that Miles once knew as Virtue, Venture, is out in the city, and if they don't get him, he could cause some serious problems. Uh, yeah. The Ultimates, #2. Get a look at that cover. The big G is on the cover. The concept of the Al Ewing, Keith and Rockford. The, the concept of them is make completing the impossible. Anything that's supposed to be impossible, the Ultimates are going to prove you wrong and do it. And their first mission was to deal with Galactus, do something about Galactus, the World Eater, the Devourer of Worlds. And what they do, we get a little bit more, a little glimpse of Galactus's origin, which you can actually read in classic Thor as well. But what the Ultimates are able to do, first of all, Panther, Black Panther, is he one of the greatest Marvel characters? Yeah. This dude is standing face to face with Galactus, not breaking a sweat, nothing. He's just standing there, no problem. And Galactus like, speak your words, little king, and leave Galactus alone. You would, most people would probably quiver in fear, look away and be like, okay, get him away from me. Not T'Challa. T'Challa looks right at him and says, look, we're gonna deal with you, whether you like it or not. And boy, do they ever. What they do to Galactus in this just solidifies that this team, the Ultimates, legit. What I will say is, from now on, you will never, ever, ever, ever again think of Galactus as the Devourer of Worlds. Because now, ladies and gentlemen, spoiler alert, I gotta spoil it. Galactus has been reborn as the life bringer. He brings life now. No longer will he destroy life because of that insatiable hunger. They basically, in a sense, cured Galactus. Not bad. The Uncanny X Avengers #3. Dugan, and Stegman. In this issue, Stegman's artwork is not as bad as I'm very much tolerating it now. Even this one was like, he really put his A game into it. And as you can see, yeah, Cable is back. Nathaniel Summers. And he comes back to help out the team because he knows that he needs to. And it's good to see Wade and Nathaniel meet up again. And Wade kind of getting serious at a time. Like, he's like, look, if Cable's back here, there's got to be something going wrong. A lot of seeing who's, a lot of like, basically a lot of cock blocking, I could say, from Cable. Like, all right, we're gonna do it my way and things like that. But also a lot of bumping heads with Rogue and Cable, especially, because Rogue is the field leader of the team, and it's almost like they're just bumping heads over everything because how to deal with the civilian situation in Boston, and they're some of the people in Boston not really don't want to deal with them because they're mutants, the whole yada yada. But more importantly is the fact that they're just really like almost like whose dick is bigger. And yeah, Rogue doesn't have one, but yeah, it is there. And we get more opposition into who the Shredded Man really is, and he's related to one of the members of the team. Who, I'm not going to spoil it, but that kind of was like, okay, all right, but not bad. That's all the Marvel. Let's move on to the only book kind of from DC that I got for that week, and that's the first issue of Get a Good Look, Batman Turtles. Yes, yes, yes. Stroke the beard of excellence. Um, Tillian Williams II do a good job with this. Now, first of all, I was trying to wonder what Batman is this. I was thinking that it was Arkham City Batman because he looks more like that. But the Turtles are definitely not in their world, and they know that. But this pays a lot of homage to the first movie, which was really good. Batman has listened to a story of about something that the Foot Clan has did, and and then she goes on to tell him that the Foot was dealt with by these metahumans. That's what she thinks that look like turtles. We get a great confrontation. Well, not really a confrontation. We get a great meeting of the Shredder and Batman, and I like that. I was very much enjoying that. We have the Turtles dealing with Croc at one point, um, and by the end of the book, we get to see that the Turtles have found the Batmobile, and I was thinking, oh, they're gonna pull a Jason Todd here, because Donnie was just like, he's just, oh my God, it's beautiful. Can I keep it and things like that? And the Turtles enter meeting the Dark Knight for the first time. So it looks, and that was good, but it looks like we may get a fight between them, and I swear to please do not pull that bullshit and say, yeah, well, Batman could beat the Turtles, blah, 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 blah. Especially with Master Splinter there, too. So I am damn sure hoping that don't go down like that. Like, yeah, he just belittles all of them, including Master Splinter. Because then I'm going to be like, yeah, see, this is more of that on Batman's. But other than that, it was good. A nice crossover. I wish we got more crossovers like this. But I'm looking forward to reading the rest of this series and how the Turtles are going to get back to their own city. But yeah, 1 of 6. Very good. Moving on to IDW, we got Back to the Future #3. This one probably was the best so far out of the first 2 issues. Now this really feels like more untold stories and alternate timelines or something like that. The first one is dealing with Doc um, helping out George and Lorraine. It seems like after Marty left, and after the whole enchantment of the sea dance, that kiss, and then George started publishing some of his works, and it almost like he's gotten a little full of himself. And Lorraine looks at it more like, okay, he's getting a little full of himself. He's not paying attention to me. And they all come to Doc because they think Marty's still there. Remember, they think Doc is uh, Marty's uncle. But Doc has to come up with an excuse. Oh, he moved away, things like that. And Doc kind of uses his zaniness to bring the two lovebirds back together on equal ground with each other. And I thought that was really cool. I was like, okay, that's cool. Then the second story takes place in the future of of old Biff. Old Biff. And McFly. The one with the fist cane, and it basically is showcasing what happened, almost in a sense, what happened, like when he stole a DeLorean and tried to go back to 1955 to give the sports almanac to his younger self. He didn't get there right away. We get to see that he ended up somewhere far, far in the past, and I'm like, okay, not bad. Uh, but this was better. This one was a lot much better, and it's kind of funny because I believe now this is going to be a monthly series now instead of a bi-monthly or whatever it is. But yeah, this was so far out of the 3 issues that have come out. This was probably the best. This was good. That one did feel more like alternate stories and stuff like that. Hope they keep it up, but it was good. Moving on to Xenoscope, and we have Mr. Pat Shant, Robin Hood. Sorry about that. Number 17, Red Death. Robin and Marion they're on the run because their apartment was compromised, so they're staying with Vanessa Van Halen, Van Helsing, Van Halen, sorry, and while they try to figure out how to deal with the Cabal, the main antagonists of this story arc, and it gets really intense. People they're just trying to relax, trying to let go before the storm comes. Marion is out with her girlfriend, and shit starts hitting the fan from there. And Robin, she really has nowhere to go. She really has nobody really to talk to. So who does she go talk to? Her therapist. And unfortunately, something bad happens and enters this woman right here on the cover. I guess she's called the Red Death. And yeah, it gets really intense from there between both Marion and Robin. And I don't want to spoil too much, but this was good writing. Once again, Mr. Shant still continues to shine with this series. And I've always recommended for anybody who is, trying to get into Xenoscope, I always recommend this series. I tell them, you want to read the past miniseries, and now then come to the ongoing. But Robin Hood number 17, this was sweet, and it leaves on that dun 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 moment of is this the end of our hero? Almost like a typical like 60s Batman, but it was good. We move on to Aspen Comics, and I'm continuing to love this little series that Mr. Hutchison writes, and that's the Legend of Oz, the the Wicked West. So Dorothy now and the Tin Man are still on the trail, and they meet this version's world of the Scarecrow. And it's a female. She's very polite. She's very like humble. She always is giving and loving and things like that. And it's kind of, Gail, Dorothy even says like, okay, you don't have to keep doing this. But then it starts getting to some tiger-like creatures, and you can see them on the cover. That's these creatures try to attack Dorothy and the Tin Man. Tin Man comes to help, and then enters the lion. He comes back to help as well, and he proves that he's not so cowardly. He's very brave. Um, and Dorothy uses her ruby 6-shooters, which are really cool, as well. And we get to see the Wicked Witch and what she's doing, and it gets really intense. It's good storytelling. Didn't like it, and the backstory of how kind of the four, how this version of Oz came to be with the lawmakers was really interesting as well. But this was good, very good. Mr. Hutchison and Aspen, very good indeed. Thank you. We move on to Dynamite, and we're on the 5th issue of The Shadow. Cullen Bunn does the writing. Giovanni Timpano, I hope I pronounced your name right, sir, does the artwork. And in this issue, Shadow's still dealing with the Society of Magicians, and what they plan to do to the people, innocent lives. Shadow has to team up with someone who was at one time his enemy to deal with it, to deal with these people. And it really gets intense. It's kind of gory at times because Shadow, he don't pull punches. Like, he doesn't pull punches. He doesn't pull. If you are a threat and you're trying to hurt the innocent, yeah, he will pop and take you out in the name of justice. Uh, but it was very interesting. I'm not really sure if you could say Shadow was able to solve the crime or solve what Harry Houdini's murder had to do with it. Who in the series we found out Harry Houdini is the one who kind of trained the Shadow into being a very good escape artist and things like that. Really cool. Um, but I think this was only a mini series. Because when I checked on the solicitations when I was looking at books for on MidtownComics.com, my comic book shop, I didn't see any more of this. I'm just like, oh, was it only a 5-part miniseries? So hopefully we get to see more, but or maybe another miniseries. But I thought this was an ongoing. I'm not sure if it's an ongoing or it's a just a mini. But other than that, I thought Mr. Bunn did a good job with this, and I hope to see him again on the Shadow because he knows what lurks in the heart of men. And we're gonna end this with Udon and Ken Sui Chong and Joe Noob does the artwork. Jim Zub does some writing as well, or artwork as well. And Edwin Huang. Hope I'm saying your names right, sirs. I give you Street Fighter Unlimited. Bitchin' cover as always. There was a bunch of bitchin' covers. This was good. The Street Fighter comics under Udon have always been good. I never complained about anyone I've read. Ryu is still dealing with his demons in terms of him embracing the Dark Hada, becoming evil Ryu, basically, to all fans who know. He still has the scar on his chest from usually, because now evil Ryu, if you're looking at current games, he has a hole in his chest. Now they actually show that he's talking to Master Goken's grave, and he's going on about how he may actually enjoyed becoming that. The power. He loved it, and but he knows that. But there was a twist to that part. I'm not going to spoil what that was, but Ryu knows that he doesn't want that. Which Ryu, he's not. He's a warrior. He's also going on how long you think he can continue to fight. All these questions that make good sense. But more importantly, Ryu is really just dealing with his demons, and he calls in a favor from someone who he can kind of who may understand him, and that's an old enemy of his, or I should say, a former old enemy, Sagat, because Sagat's now not even like that. He's not. He's like balanced now, and he tries to get some little advice from Sagat about how he dealt with his rage after he beat Sagat, gave him the scar, everything like that. It gets really intense. Really good writing. I very much enjoyed it. And I'm looking forward to the next issue. This was really good. The next story that was in here was interesting. It was a story between Haggard from Final Fight and Alex, and a kind of a misunderstanding that Haggard took way too serious and, let's just say, really beat the shit out of Alex. I was a little bit like, okay. But other than that, good stuff. Street Fighter Unlimited, #1. All right, guys. So that is it. Still, I hope you guys are still with me and still watching these reviews. I'm catching up. I have two more. I have the books that came out the 16th and finish reading the books that came out last week, which was which this week, which was the 23rd. So other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you guys soon. Take care.